Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Adnan here, and in this video I want to share with you my experience with the Shillington course as I'm 3 months into it. Now if you're new to the channel, I've already done a video talking about what made me decide to do this course, so I'll just link to it in the description. You can check it out, but otherwise let's start talking about the course. So, first off, I'm doing the online part-time version. Shillington offers this in multiple ways. You can do it in one of their campuses. I think they're located in London, Australia, New York, like places like that, like big cities. And they also offer the 3 months full-time version. I think whichever option you choose, the material is pretty much going to be the same. The only difference is going to be some of the exercises, but that really depends on the instructor. This is at least what I've been told because I asked them about this. And the online class, the one that I'm doing, is done over Zoom. We have about 18 to 20 people in the course and 2 instructors. And sometimes we also have guests that come and go depending on like the subject, and when like some of them just come to share their portfolios. Honestly, I was a little bit reluctant to do this over Zoom, but the classes are pretty smooth, and I think the instructors and the course itself is really set up properly that it felt like it was made to be done online. I didn't feel like I think the sessions go really smoothly for what it is. I was a little bit reluctant to take the course as I'm still doing my 9-to-5 IT job. However, I was pleasantly surprised as I felt a lot of the coursework is contained within the classes themselves. So if you're able to attend the classes, you're pretty much fine. There is homework, but it's not something that I would worry about. Every couple of weeks we would have to do something, but it usually takes no longer than 2 hours. Obviously, in graphic design, you could spend as much time as you want developing what you already do in class, but then again, that's just you taking the extra mile. That's just an extra effort. All you need to do is just attend the class most of the time, with like with the exception of few homeworks. Now, keep in mind we're 3 months in, so I'm not going to be surprised if the work gets a little bit intense down the line, but so far it doesn't look like it. During the sessions, we're either following up with the instructor on how to do like a certain thing in one of the applications. We're either learning a new concept or doing a group activity, and most of the time we're working through on a brief. And what I like about these briefs is as we progress, we're always expected to demonstrate everything we learned up to that point, which really helps cement all that we've learned. I think that's a really fun, and also the briefs are pretty fun. In terms of what we covered, for the past 3 months, we've really gone into InDesign in terms of the nitty and gritty. From opening the application, they helped us set it up, they helped us create the workbench or the work setup for the application itself. We've learned different design concepts, learned how to do layouts, mood boarding, typefaces, how to pick colors properly, and how to develop concepts. So I feel at this point very comfortable and confident to start working if I only had to do InDesign, obviously. But what we're going to do moving forward is learn all these other applications and then how to use them together. But so far I feel pretty good about InDesign. We then moved into Illustrator, and we didn't spend as much time on it, but we did cover the pen tool a lot. We know how to like trace, how to create like a bespoke typeface, and I did my own, which was a lot of fun. I actually didn't expect that I would enjoy that particular aspect of Illustrator. And now we're working on Figma, and into like our current brief is creating an application and creating multiple like pages of the application and whatnot. I was also surprised because before the course I knew nothing about Figma. We spent probably, I would say, maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks on Figma exclusively, and I think now it's one of my favorite applications. I feel like I'm really enjoying UX UI design more than I expected, and this particular brief is a lot of fun. I would say in total, maybe we worked through 8 different briefs. Some of them are bigger than others, especially the first few briefs were really, really small, really short. But they're all were interesting and fun to go through. Most importantly, they felt pretty realistic. They also tie us with time, and I think that's really important because Shillington doesn't only try to teach you how to do a certain thing, but try to the best of their ability, simulate the actual design environment. So for example, they would tell us, okay, we're gonna work through a brief, but we only have a day or 2 days or what have you. So you're really expected to pull off everything you've learned quickly. So now let's talk about how I feel about the course. When I first signed up for Shillington, I was really excited. I thought graphic design was gonna be my jam. I thought I'm gonna spend so much time on it, do everything I can, learn a lot, and I think my idea of how much effort I was gonna put into this was unrealistic and unsustainable. And even though I'm not as excited as I used to be, I'm still pretty happy that I made the commitment. Honestly, now that we're 3 months in it, had I not taken the course, had I not made that commitment, I think my desire to keep learning would have slowly faded at this point. We also learned a lot of very technical stuff, and I think that would have been very hard, at least I'm talking about myself here, it would have been very hard for me to go through and learn on my own. It would have been very hard to develop the positive habits that a designer would be good, a designer would benefit from having, things like using shortcuts, things like developing mood boards properly in a way that makes sense, writing comments in the things that you've done, things like that. And I really appreciate that Shillington, the instructors always try to make sure that we're doing these things. I mean, as for the classes, I find them pretty fun. Like I said earlier, they're challenging, but not frustrating. Also, I wouldn't say, they're at the right space. That's for me. Also, keep in mind, I've had some graphic design, at least a basic graphic design experience. Though in the class, there are some people who are very experienced, and there are some people who are completely new. And it seems like everybody is doing well, which is surprising. I also love how all the students seem to be enjoying the class. I guess just the fact that how expensive it is to get into, it kind of filters out everybody who's not really interested or only interested halfway. Everybody's positive, they contribute. Even the Slack group is always active. If anyone asks anything, people try to chime in and help out. There's always people posting different inspirations, things like that. So I really appreciate that part of the course. As for the instructors and the staff, honestly, that is probably the best part of the program. The instructors are amazing. They're people who are very familiar with graphic design as a field in general, and they're designers who have design jobs. So you can ask them about the job market, interviews, things like that. They have a lot of experience. As for the staff, they're always a pleasure to deal with. They're super supportive, patient, etc. And I mean, don't take my word for it. Just try and email them and ask them a question, because that's also something that I did before signing up, because I wanted to get a sense of what the vibe is with the people who work in Shillington. And honestly, it's not too hard to notice that they love their job, which is pretty good. So I would say overall, I'm pretty happy, and I feel like I learned a lot, at least in the 3 months, and I so far recommend it. I'm really excited to see how it progresses and how we develop our portfolios and whatnot, because that's definitely the thing that I want to share with people, so you get to see how much you learn and how, like, you know, what exactly do you come out of. So that's pretty much it. Really hope you enjoyed this quick video, maybe learned something out of it. If you have any questions about Shillington, I would say email them. First off, you'll get a feel of what they're like, but they're also pretty fast in replying to answers and whatnot. But otherwise, if you have a question about my experience or anything related to the channel, like, feel free to leave it in the comments and I will get back to it as soon as I see it. Otherwise, thanks for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.